Okay, everybody come on in. Welcome back to Western Mike. Welcome to YouTube tonight. It is 7 a.m., but I'm still going to refer to it as my favorite title, and that does it. Especially if may be too lazy to do it in the morning. So we'll just refer to my show as YouTube Tonight. Welcome to YouTube Tonight. Today's topic, we have two per hour structure. Uh, Drinking way less this week. That's the first topic. And then also the second topic is being mindful is cool. So let's go on and let's delve into the first topic. Drinking way less this week. How is this possible? What did you do? What steps did you take? Let me tell you, this is no easy task. You would think with everything going on that perhaps this was a walk in the park. Think again. Uh, a lot of the time, it is easy to want to indulge. Indulgence is way more of a piece of cake when times are just so out of order. Seems there's some kind of trouble everywhere you go, and we're going to get into that topic in the next half hour. Just etiquette these days is just completely out the window. There's no etiquette. There's no etiquette. It should be that because all that stuff is going on, perhaps you don't want to have a drink at all. But stand corrected. I stained corrected. Is yeah, a lot of the time you're probably going to want to do some drugs just to deal with everything. No, yeah. It is an issue, and it makes not drinking a little bit tougher. Or drinking less a little bit tougher. But here's what you can do. Here's what my take on it was. Here was my way of getting this accomplished. Um, do not drink this week. Spend a little bit more money than usual this week, but that was because was trying to do things other than drinking and was also trying to see what could do besides drinking. That's the only reason why I was spending more money than typical this week. I just wanted to, do some new kind of things, had some new ideas, and that was cool. No, yeah, just focused on work this week, focused on my tasks, everything to do. Just because I'm a bit of a fun seeker doesn't mean want to do that during certain times. During certain times, you have to be in a different mode. Honestly, don't really mind being in that mode. So if it's Monday through Friday, my mode is going to be very much in that kind of space. I'm not going to be thinking about fun. I'm not going to be thinking, I'm still going to try to be a fun person. Don't want to be this pain in the ass just because it's Monday through Friday, but then Friday through Sunday, oh, everything's okay now. Everybody feel better now. No, no, I know. I can't stand those people, and I really try not to be that guy. No, yeah, you can be fun 24/7. I'm kind of trying to say to myself this, you could always be fun. It's just there are different ways of being fun. So yeah, I did that. That was step one. No drinking Monday through Friday. Very, very simple. Well, except for the end of Friday, but besides the end of Friday, no drinking. Just focus on work. That was my first step, and that was pretty easy. You just have to remind yourself to be motivated. This is stuff you want to do. This is stuff you enjoy doing, and you just want to do that. And you want to say, you know, the workplace these days can be challenging AF, but there's a huge reward at the end. And the workplace still has stuff that you like to do. So, and stuff that isn't drugs, stuff that isn't, getting fat. So, getting fat. Uh, no, yeah. So that step one was really quite easy. Just needed to remind myself a little bit. Um, no, yeah, I have to remind myself about step one a lot. And then step two, honestly, was no day drinking. Or no, yeah. So step one was no weekday drinking. Step two was no day drinking. So on Friday, didn't have any drinks during the day at all. Waited until 5 o'clock. So even if it's Friday, I'm going to wait until it's 5 o'clock. You don't have to do that. That's just my kind of take on it. Is waiting until 5 lets me square the day away first, even if it's Friday. So that's kind of my new rule. I'm going to square my day away first before determining any kind of consumption that falls outside of and that's what will help me maintain my menu. That's what will help me stay consistent with my menu, is holding off on that stuff until the evening. That's why people do stuff in the evening, so that you can get everything squared away first. Concerned citizen, how you doing? Comment on the allegations against Obama, and do you think he committed a treasonous act? No, no, I don't. I think the subject was on the current president and his contacts. Do I think he did some things? Yes, but in this area, no. No, no, I don't. Thanks for the question, but no, I do not. And his record was a lot, would have to say at this point, was a lot cleaner than the current commander in chief's. This guy who's in here now, he's got to clean up what he's. But you're asking about Obama. So let's. To me, no, no. What do you think he was? But do you think he was? No, no, yeah. I would like to wonder what's your take on it is. What's your take on it? No, yeah. So on Friday, waited until 5 o'clock. Like to wait until 5 for any kind of fun stuff, because that I I I'm all about fun, but I don't want to do fun all day. I don't want to do fun all day. Sometimes I want to do my work. Sometimes I want to get stuff done. And the daytime is me getting things done. So, I went to my favorite spot for lunch, and I had their delicious NA beer. I went to one of my favorite breweries in the city after work on my way home, but I just had an NA beer. I rode the ferry, but then I just had an NA kombucha. I had a kombu. So that's easy, especially during the daytime, especially you're kind of coming off this shit. Just that's a really easy thing to do. Not sure if alcohol is the first thing you want to do after a whole, uh, you know, tumult Monday through Friday. Not sure that's something that I want to immediately get into. Why? It's easy because I'm tired. Haven't really worked up the energy yet. People don't really go out until even say, I don't know, 6 or just 7 o'clock, and that's maybe because they're trying to work up a second wind. So, no, yeah, I'm not going to drink the second get out of work. I'm not going to drink, during the middle of the day, especially if it's a work day. Not going to do any of that. That's too early. That's a cop out, especially on a weekday. That's a cop out. Okay, so let's get these comments. Concerned citizen, what do you think of the candidate running for mayor of New York? I don't know enough. I think they're all trying to turn it into some kind of Obama thing, and well, let's just see what goes on. Because the last couple mayors, people tried to, blow it up, and then it seems like it didn't really work out. So, would say let would say that waiting to see what they do and waiting to see how they can kind of maintain their ID before they run for president. I think that would probably be wise, given how many New York mayors have kind of, bit the dust. To be just kind of another potentially corrupt New York mayor. But a concerned citizen says, is socialism better than communism? No. Concerned citizen says, do you see any young females smoking cigarettes anymore or just vape? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. What I see is females think trying to be healthy because they see a lot of, unhealthy males. So they're kind of kicking our ass. Females are kind of kicking our ass in terms of health. So maybe they're doing neither. I've seen other men do vaping and just giggling in the bar and then trying to get into fights with people in the bar, even though they're vaping over there, vaping and giggling like a nervous little, a nervous little brat. But do if pressed to ask, would say probably vaping, just because smoking is so unhealthy, and it seems like females these days are kind of a little bit of kicking males' ass on health. Yeah, males are talking about health more, but females are kicking our ass on a lot of stuff. On a lot of stuff, uh, and so they're probably not smoking. A lot of them don't drink. A lot of females don't drink alcohol. They just don't. They don't. Um, and the ones who do, it's because they're not doing it right. Uh, a lot of them probably are not even doing cigarettes, probably even just vaping, and probably then even not that. Um, no, yeah. We'll see some other men walking around with a tea instead of a drink. But that's because it's daytime. How do I know what people are doing at nighttime? But no, yeah, to me, I'm gonna wait until 5 o'clock, at least 5 o'clock, even on Friday, so that I can square everything away first that I have to get done. That's just my kind of structure. I like to be a little bit more structured during the day, but then during the nighttime, I might be a little bit more situated. I might be a little bit more situated. Uh, and then step three, even at the bar, had NA drinks. Had 3 NA drinks at the bar. Had two Spindrift and one NA beer. Didn't like the NA beer as much. It was a little metallic. It was a little too industrial. But the Spindrift, that was really, really good. I could taste the fruit in there. It was so nice, just silky smooth. Spindrift. You guys ever have Spindrift? Spindrift is one of the best. Spindrift is one of the best drinks. They're really, really good. Would drink that stuff all day if could. That would be awesome. So, and plus got a kombucha last night. So, oh no, yeah, kind of like an Apollo 13. You betcha, got a kombucha last night. Um, So that was step three. Just didn't have anything to drink at the bar, and also had some flatbread. The good old bar made me some flatbread for my drinks, to enjoy with my drinks. It was good. It was good. Uh, and oh yeah, not sure what all the arugula was doing on there, but that was a really good flatbread. It's just delicious. And not sure why I wasn't getting into so much conversation last night, but was still had a good time, and it was still really relaxing, and don't really have to do that again for a whole other week. And then just had a beer at home. Had one beer, and man, oh man, that one beer, it made all the difference. Was able to focus on my drink. Didn't need any more drinks. Got a nice effect off of it. Was already euphoric after only one drink. I can have one drink and already I'm pretty satisfied. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Concerned citizen, who's the best actor currently? The best actor currently, I don't know, maybe my my favorite is Brad Pitt. I think because he's done more stuff, though, I think probably the best actor ever is George Clooney. George Clooney is the best actor ever. That's in my mind. I think George Clooney is he's a cool dude. I like George Clooney. Uh, who do you think? Who do you think, sir? Who's your favorite? No, yeah, no, yeah, definitely Brad Pitt is my favorite. Um, but Brad Pitt is my favorite all the way. But George Clooney, uh, he's still superior to all. Still like Matt McConaughey. Still also like Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany is really good. I think Paul Bettany does a good. Um, Man, there are a lot. Uh, Also really like Cameron Diaz. She's a really good actress. Man, boy oh boy. Want to watch one of her movies a little bit later today. Cameron Diaz is really really good. Concerned Citizen says Clint Eastwood is also very good. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Dirty Harry. Uh, Clint Eastwood. I saw him in Dirty Harry, and I thought he was just outstanding. Daniel Day-Lewis. Yes, yes, he's pretty intense actor. I think he's even in the Bourne movies, and think he plays Mannheim or something like that. Meryl Streep. Yeah, yeah, I think Meryl Streep is pretty good. Yeah, I think she's pretty good. Um, for some reason, think that there's this whole, not that there's anything wrong with that, but think that there's some kind of gay thing about Meryl Streep. I don't see it. She just seems to be a good actress with a lot of experience, who's a popular actress, good actress, does a good job. So we're coming up on 20 minutes here, so we're still in the first topic. No, yeah, it felt good to have only one drink. I didn't need any more drinks, even a second drink. If I don't need a second day of drinking in the weekend, because that's a lot of time spending looking for alcohol, well, then I might not even need a second drink. So many times now have had only one drink and felt good after only that one drink. It had the positive effect. It had the positive net effect. It did not have that disgusting binge drinking effect where you went over four and now you're confused and you are in it for the long haul, Saturday through Monday. Not sure that that's really something that people want. Just because you want to have fun doesn't mean you have to be reckless. You don't have to be reckless to have fun. A lot of fun out there that's available is fun that you won't ever be able to have again. So, no, yeah, some of the things I'm doing right now, this is fun that I'm never going to be able to have again. You can't replicate fun, and a lot of it, if you just look at the schedule of the day, has not. I'm like, what does this have to do with drinking? What does alcohol have to do with any of this? Because every time I'm kind of even anywhere near alcohol, I cross the event horizon. I see that already some folk are having a bad day with it. People are already having a bad day because of it. And then I think, is this really something I want to do, or day or heavy drinking? That's definitely something that I don't want to do. Here's my take on here here's what I think about day and heavy drinking, folks. And yeah, it's just there's a time and a place for everything. It's just there's always a time and a place for everything. To me, day drinking, I don't agree. Heavy drinking, I don't agree with that. I think those are the worst, and those are what paves the way to day drinking. Weekday drinking paves the way to heavy drinking. You have to like doing other things most of the time. You can't. Oh, wait. Paul Newman is up there. No, yeah, Paul Newman's pretty good. Haven't honestly have to catch up on Paul Newman a bit, and Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know them too well, but they're pretty cool. No, yeah. Why drink during the day? Why drink during the week even? Um, why even drink during the weekend unless it's just one day and not two? To me, even 2 days is too much time spent drinking. Even if it's only an hour or so, 2 days is too much time drinking. Because what I read was that even 2 days is frequent drinking. Even 2 days a week is frequent drinking. So really, one drink, one day a week. That's what I've kind of come up with. That's kind of my plan. That's kind of my way of doing things now. So I'm not going to have an alcoholic beverage at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm probably going to do something else. I'm probably going to focus on work. I'm probably going to focus on my hobbies. You only have so much time in the day, so no, yeah, the day does not revolve around alcohol. And then step 4, just made sure to get home at an early time, and that was pretty easy. Didn't even leave at 7 o'clock, left more at 6 o'clock, much to others' consternation. Um, much to others' consternation. But think that, it's nice, even on Friday, to leave early. Why do you have to stay out late? Aren't you already seeing everybody? How many people do you need to see? How many people need to see you? Why stay out that late? To me, staying out late, even if not drinking, I hated it. Personally, I really hated partying. I hate it. I freaking hate it. It's unproductive. It's excessive. Here's what could do. I could maybe stop in for a minute, say hi to some folk, have some lemonade, but am not going to stay at places until 2 in the morning. That to me, that just takes so much toll on the body, even if it's just Friday. Some of this stuff you don't have to do it just because it's Friday. A lot of people don't do that, who even enjoy doing that stuff. and for good reason. Uh, if you got that sense, I don't want to stay out until 2 in the morning anymore. Well, that's because even if it's Friday, staying out until 2 in the morning is just too much. It's way too much toll on the human body. The human body is designed to put effort where it's needed, to put minimal effort where it's not needed, and to get adequate rest. And especially following the pandemic and now all this, hoopla about all this BS about red tape left and right. No, yeah, going out is good, but also continuing to get into the idea of staying home even on a weekend night might really seem appealing. Sure, it might be nice to go out and say hi to some folk, but you can do that at any time. And to me, just staying out until the wee hours of the morning doesn't really make sense anymore. That's for my age. No, I need to be I need to be reading a book, or I need to be just catching up with my family. Uh, family that's not being a pain in the ass. I don't know about you. Even some of my family's being a bit of a pain in the ass, a little bit bitchy right now. No, yeah, a lot of folk are being bitchy. We're gonna get into that topic, and don't say I didn't warn you. So after intermission during the next section, we're going to have a bit of a discussion about etiquette. I'm a pretty big etiquette guy, so we're going to delve into that. I think we're going to delve into that. So that will be good. Um, no, yeah, this was really an easy week. Just get everything done during the day first. Get the whole week done first. And then step 5, just stay home and enjoy the weekend at home. And if I'm gonna go out, I'm just gonna have NA drinks. Gonna make sure that they're palatable, but I'm going to have just NA beverages. I'm not even going to bother with the alcohol, because the less you're drinking, that means you are reducing your alcohol consumption and also doing other things. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into intermission now, and we'll be back in a second. Concerned citizen, thank you for stopping by. Hope you'll stay with us. Feel free to share this video to anybody who you think might have a good time with this. And okay, and we'll be back in a second. All right. Okay, and let's go ahead and get back into it. So, welcome to the second chapter. This is the second topic. Being mindful is cool. Being rude is not cool. Being a dick is not cool. Um, I understand that there are a lot of tourists. I understand that there are a lot of rich people around here, but that does not preclude going around and making a fool. If had a nickel for how many times that sentiment had to be corrected, would be the king of Nickel Mountain. Um, no, yeah, it's not my job. It's not my job to remind you that you're out of line. It's not my job to remind people that there's a way of saying hello. Um, no, yeah, even yesterday, once again, you can't control this, but dealing with little kids in their cars, feeling the need to get caught staring, having the need to get caught staring at me, crazy. No, yeah, that's beyond irritating. And have seen kids in cars out hassling people, yelling at people about their dog and stuff like that. The person is clearly irritated, and then just nobody says anything else. They just say what they want to say, and then they stomp off. Um, no, yeah, what is a deal with even the kids? Uh, and then there was an issue at the grocery store with an older man, creepy old man syndrome. This guy could not really take a hint. Was simply, yeah, again, for no reason, was simply walking past him. When I'm dressed for work, I get this, but when I walked past him, I barely looked at him, and he kind of tried to force attention. He tried to force attention, and he seemed to nod at me for no reason. Um, and then when he came out after me coming out, he had said thank you to the cashier, but again, it kind of sounded like it was coming toward me. It seemed like he was staring at me crazy, and he also tried to nod at me for no reason. Um, what could be the reason? Why are you nodding at me? You know, we're not acquainted. This is not a very friendly area. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't brown nose your way into things. Um, so yeah, that was annoying. And then I kind of confronted him and said something else. I meant to say, "Why are you nodding at me and bothering me?" But what I said was, "Why are you saying thank you to me?" And he kind of, a very simple question. I knew that he was probably saying thank you to the cashier, not to me, but because I was kind of doing that and kind of throwing him off with the wrong question because he was kind of giving me the wrong kind of vibe. So I did it back. Um, but very simple question, and this guy immediately got all very, very defensive. Yeah, kind of making fun of me a little bit. I don't appreciate how the locals around here tend to either brush me off or make fun of me all the time, and it's getting annoying. And I wish that they would stop. I wish that they would stop because just because you live in Marin County does not eliminate you from proper conduct and having some standards. Um, what I see a lot of the time is other older men and women here being very aggressive with people and not approaching people in a gentle manner. I see that a lot here. Um, I see that a lot here. And the idea of the man nod is really reserved for business meetings and reserved for um, reserved for social occasions and business meetings. The man nod is not for some contexts. And sometimes we'll look at you and we'll say, you're not sup nodding then. But again, it seems like we're living in a time where we're dealing with a bunch of narcissists who they only do stuff because it's convenient for them. People doing stuff only because it's convenient at that time. Maybe if the mean neighbors of Marin, maybe if you were always sup nodding at me, I would view that as appropriate. No, yeah, I don't appreciate rude little kids in their car having the need to get caught staring. And when that happened yesterday, the driver was also taking way too long to just simply go through the intersection, and the police station was right there too. So I kind of called them out on that, said, "Hey, go." I was like, "Hey, go, move it." And then another driver seemed to be staring crazy. Guys, what's with these people, man? My closest friend's car that just looks cool, or my jacket. What's with the reactivity? There's a certain amount of etiquette that is expected in a public place, and this reactivity going on, coupled with this intense desire to be noticed, is I think it's out of control. I think it's out of control. Even going to work in the morning, dealing with people, hey, flashy, flashy over here. Drivers blaring their lights for no reason at 5 in the morning. You don't use your high beam lights on a commercial road, at 5 in the morning. You use them. You use high beam lights and you especially don't keep turning them on and off, on and off. And then I see some of these crazy ass people, some of these crazy ass liberals. It's just the way they drive. It's just that have you even seen them moving their car back and forth? Move their whole car back and forth while they're driving. Like what's going on in your head? Is everything okay? Kind of. So yeah, that's another reason why I still want to drink a little bit, but don't want to drink that much. I don't want to treat drinking as a drug. So yeah, in essence, I've quit drugs for good. Besides Friday, I'm not gonna, or an occasion, I'm not really going to drink anymore. And I'm definitely not going to treat alcohol like a drug anymore, because then you just get exposed to people, uh, to people who might not, Michael, who might not want to view the world the same way as you do. Maybe they don't have the same values that you do. Maybe they see what you say and they don't care. In fact, if anything, they're kind of glad that you're saying it, because then they can point and laugh. I'm all about the people who like to be gentle with others in their dealings with other people, in the way they approach other people. I like people who I agree with John Cena. I'm all about consent. My version of it is I'm all about people who are gentle with others. Being gentle is key. I don't care if you're a kid. I don't care if you're an old lady. What I care about, are you being gentle and not corrosive, not neurotic, not pessimistic around others? Because I'm seeing a bunch of that in Marin County. I'll refuse to date anyone in Marin County because of the constant neurotic, pessimistic behavior here. It's just not my cup of tea, so I'm just not going to deal with it. Anything else last week? Oh yeah, also this week. It seemed like all the tourists were having trouble paying on the bus. This happened like 10 times. 10 times on my way home on the bus on Thursday. Not one tourist spent only 1 minute with their transaction. Uh, no, with the driver. No, instead, not one single tourist had a clipper card on them. And to me, a clipper card needs to be universal. Everybody should have a clipper card. Just because you don't live here doesn't mean you should not have a clipper card. You need to be prepared. And no, yeah, boy, oh boy, even saw that one morning day this week. This chick in Mill Valley had not been very prepared, and she got on the bus, and she was insisting on doing the coin shit, and then she was staring at me and everybody crazy, and I'm just like, I'm not even playing. I'm like, sit down, just sit down. So no, yeah, I'll get just because you're a woman. No, yeah, I'll get quite accountable with other women. I'll get with women. I'll hold them to account. I'm not always going to be, nice to them just because they're women. I'm not nice to somebody just because they're a woman. To me, my ideal women are no, yeah, the same thing, same thing. Just they're cool. They're not mindless. They're not reckless. They're just they're just cool. So, I'm not gonna deal with, you know, people who can't be gentle or prepared. Just be gentle and prepared. I'm a little bit more of an improviser because I don't want to micromanage myself and I want to have faith in the process, but that doesn't mean that I won't prepare when needed. There's a little bit of each in each case. And I would say that, yeah, on the bus, you absolutely need to be prepared. Me and the driver were discussing this, and, the driver was kind of shocked that people don't, get a clip that people don't get a clip before they come onto the bus. That should just be common sense. Why are you using coins? Why are you trying to use all not even Bart has paper anymore, for Pete's sake. Why are you trying to do the coins? You're pissing me off. This should take 5 seconds. And even the way they talk to the driver, it's like, the driver's not there to be your tour guide. The driver is, getting commuters back too. Commuters are on the bus too. There's another thing over at the grocery store. Once again, parents were letting their kids be loud and just rambunctious little shits the whole time, and was like, why would anybody want to spend their time doing this stuff? Why? Look at all the BS. It's just parents even telling their children to bully people. I read what I read. Some of you parents here in Marin County, you know who you are. I know you more than you know me. Okay. Apparently you tell your kids to mouth off at people, and you mouth off at people. Instead of just asking, hey, or instead of doing what people in my life do, so at least people in my life show interest to others. They actually ask, how are you? They include you on stuff. So, no, yeah, I'm not going to deal with kids or with dating, not in this climate. That's not the time for this. Maybe other people have my friends have the fortitude for that. Me, I'm like, I'm absolutely just fed up. How can anybody, date or have a kid these days? Look at how just pandemonium, um, and just total lack of accountability, um, and just a completely, you know, unprofessional reaction. No, yeah, and also not to discuss work subjects. It's sensitive. But somebody at the front door, that's a front door, so they can discuss that. That's kind of public domain. I think somebody rushed me at the front door. Somebody cut the front door. Uh, somebody, somebody, 40-year-old dude tried to cut me at the front door. And then when I said, hey, it's not your turn. Um, no, yeah, and then he grabbed at me. I'm like, you people make everything so about you. It's just cutting me, grabbing at me constantly. Oh yeah, yeah. Then before work too, this kind of weird guy he was walking up Sansom and now he's walking up New Montgomery, and this guy kind of takes himself too seriously, and he's been kind of scanning me a little bit, and I'm kind of like, I don't play for that team, uh, but do enjoy your day. So no, yeah, there's that. So it seems like there, again, not to be a dick, not to be rude, but it seems like there are a bunch of gay divas going everywhere. It seems like there are a bunch of gay stalkers everywhere, who can't shut up or leave people alone because they just think that they are that important, and they want everybody to know. I don't do that. I don't do that. I wait. I wait on everything. I wait on alcohol. I wait on having fun. I don't wish to constantly be the center of attention. I would be really, even if I was tweaking out on 7th, uh, at 7. Um, no, yeah, that'd be a lot for me to deal with. I don't want that much toxic energy. I like to do other things. I like to keep things simple. I, I'm I'm not a very energetic person. I'm a very mellow person. I don't like doing too many crazy things at once. Maybe one crazy thing at a time, but not too many crazy things at once. So, no, yeah, this tweaking thing, I'm not about it. Turkeys, watch your mouth. Um, you're not as important as you think you are. I know you more than you know me. Uh, the parents of these kids, especially, watch your mouth. Um, no, 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 yeah. It's just that this kind of stuff makes me want to drink alcohol less. So, if don't have any alcohol this week, well, we'll then have reduced my alcohol consumption by 93%. No, you just want less because you don't want to get confused, and you find other stuff to do over time. Even if YouTube is being a bit of a pain in the rear end. That also happened. YouTube keeps deleting videos. So while we'll be a YouTube customer, I'm not going to buy any YouTube stocks that may come up. I'm not going to buy any YouTube extras or anything like that. No. Um, so yeah, that's my moderate is might still be a YouTube customer, but I'm not going to spend on anything else. Because $20 to have everything deleted on you, stuff that's educational and meditative, stuff. Yeah, some stuff that got deleted, it's in other places like Bandcamp and stuff like that. But I don't appreciate the constant having to change what you're doing, because um, somebody perceives wrongdoing. Um, half this content is is just as much copyright instead of copyrighted content as content on iTunes or anywhere else. And they made a big effort. These creators put a lot of time and effort into these videos. You're gonna no yeah. First, it was the picture-in-picture went away, and then second, there was something that happened with downloads where they were deleting people's downloads, and people had to get back their downloads. Still have the downloads that don't have anymore, and now they're deleting helpful content. Who are these clowns over here at YouTube? This is not the YouTube this is not your grandmother's YouTube. No, yeah, hate YouTube these days, and you should hate it too. And even if you're a customer, you shouldn't buy anything else. Hell, might not even be a customer. Might not even be a YouTube customer anymore. I think I'm just going to keep it simple and just use it when I have to, but then otherwise not use it. Because I like to use platforms that keep all their content, that don't force me to look somewhere else for content, especially if paying for it. You're basically paying for features, but you're basically paying for content, and then for people to go and do all that. That's like saying fuck you to me. That's like a major slap you. So I slap you. No, yeah, it's boy, I'm really not impressed with what's been going on over at YouTube. Now, shame on some of these channels for not safeguarding their content, and for not safeguarding their content. Shame on them. Shame on some of those channels. But have lost some videos that were very near and dear to me, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to get those back. So yeah, it shouldn't just be. I thought YouTube was, access to one video every week, not one new video every 6 months, not one replaced video every 6 months. You shouldn't have if you already found a video, you shouldn't have to look for another video. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So yeah, if you're going to delete that, what else are you going to have to delete? Are you going to have to delete my work? I have some stuff on here. I'm not sure that it's going to pass the smell test. Are you going to delete all the science on here? Because after all, a lot of that is public domain. There's such a thing as public domain. And no, yeah, that's not AI doing this. That's people doing this, making these decisions to remove certain content, even though it seems like they didn't tell people that there was an issue with this. They kind of just removed it based off their own individual perceptions. So YouTube has become quite undemocratic. You can't keep any content on here. I can't find videos from 6 months ago, not from 6 weeks ago, not from 6 minutes ago on here. So yeah, definitely enjoying this app so far. I'm going to leave you guys a 5-star review. No, yeah, after all the effort that everybody put in, especially when everybody was locked down, couldn't go anywhere, for this to be happening, it seems like whatever you enjoy these days, it kind of goes to the recycle bin in in half a year. So I appreciate everybody tuning in on this show. Hopefully you learned something. No, yeah, second half. This is just my roast of the narcissistic neighbors. I am a fan of being gentle with other people, not coming across like you're trying to pounce on people. You don't have to brown nose your way into things. You don't have to sneak into my life. We're not going to be doing that. No, we're not about that. And also, I reduced my alcohol consumption. I think this week by 93%. Should all be said and done by Sunday evening, and by Monday morning of next week, we'll have reduced my alcohol consumption by 93%. And yeah, step six, how you do that is, easy. Either you want to drink or you want to reduce your consumption. And just when my mind is clear, I'm a little bit easier to talk to because I'm being a little bit more patient with others. I want to be a little bit more patient with others. I think that would be good. I don't want to be mean to people. I want people to be responsible, and I want people to let other people enjoy their day. That's what I would like to see happen. I don't want to see the same annoying, the same disinterested but annoying neighbors. I don't want to deal with that. I want neighbors who are cool. Who give a shit? I don't want to deal with tweakers. I don't want to deal with tweakers reminding me about how, alcohol is bad and all this and that stuff. How about just be responsible? How about just, allow yourself some fun, but be responsible? And how about just know how you're talking to other people? Don't get caught staring. Don't do an annoying brown-nosing little sup nod. Especially you're 60 years old. Come on, man. Grow up. And it's not even a board meeting or anything like that. Come on, man, grow up. Just know that there's a time and a place for everything. And just the universe does not revolve around you. There's a time and a place for everything. There's an appropriate standard. There's other people around. And they're trying to be a little bit more careful after the last couple of years. So, do you want to be part of the problem, or do you want to be the solution? It's your choice. I can't tell you what your choice is. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, you kind of can make it drink because you can peer pressure it until it gives in, and then next thing you know, it's confused and not knowing what it's doing anymore. Thanks. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Concerned citizen, thank you very much for stopping by. Anybody else stopping by, thanks for tuning in, and appreciate your support of the channel. See you guys next week, and this was really fun. Thanks. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. See you in the next video, and talk to you guys soon. Have a good weekend. and make sure to get messed up responsibly.